Let's see how to go about this. Just tell me. Looking for the first angle. Okay. I think it's time to start because I can see Mr. Temitopa here. If you can hear me, please just say yes so that I'll be sure that my audio is good. Yeah, so I'm about to get started anytime soon. Please, if you can hear me, just say yes so I can be sure that my audio is good enough. If anyone is online, please just let me know if my microphone is oh good. So it means I can start. It's good to be here again and to continue from where I stopped the last time. Um, Today I'm going to be very precise. Um, I'm not going to take too much time because I have something specific I want to talk about. So, like I discussed with us the last time about the importance of the motivation letter. So, having said that, today I want us to show us some things that because my plan was to do like a screen share before, but I noticed that it's not very good with YouTube Live. Maybe it would have been easier to do that with Zoom or probably another platform or Google Meet. But for with Google, I'm sorry, with YouTube, it was I did the testing and it wasn't nice. So I'm thinking of how I can improvise to use another system to share some motivational statements with us. So um, like I was saying the other day that when you want to do your um, or when you want to write your motivation statement or letter of intent, you need to do some research. So I'm going to discuss briefly about some of those research. Like how can you go about the research and why is the research important? So I have some things here now. The first thing you need to know is the objective and the scope of the program. Now, why do you need this? It will give you clue on what the program is all about. And in order to do this, the best place you can find it is on the program website. Now, every program will tell you their objectives. And so from knowing the objectives, it helps you to know how to tailor or how to go about your motivation statement or your letter of motivation or statement of purpose. Because sometimes when you see people write a very brilliant statement of purpose, it is not as if they generated all of those ideas from their head, or but sometimes you get it from the program, you get it from their website. Um, as much as that is good, it's also interesting to look out for some technical words. For example, let's assume your program is talking about One Health. Now, One Health is a concept, is a principle used in Europe. Now, you should go further to know what this One Health is all about. You need to go and do it like a research on the One Health principle to know what it's all about. Why why was it brought into or why did they bring the concepts into the program and all of this. So these are some of the things you need to like do like a research on. At the end of the day, if you are able to do this kind of research, if you go through this part, you will notice that you will have a lot of things to write or talk about. Like by the time you have like you look through your content, the content you want to use for your motivation letter, you will notice that in fact you won't be the one to like, hey, what what am I going to discard? Like, because I see people who used to say, what do I want to write in a 500 words motivation letter? That 500 is too much. Some people even struggle to write 200, and I'm always like, there should be a lot to write. In fact, if you are able to like put all these ideas into play, you will notice that you will have more than 2,000 words, and you need 500. So you will have to start trimming to in order to get to the point where you would have to like probably look out for the most important things. So these are some of the things that we need to put into consideration. And also, I want to talk about this part that most people don't pay attention to is the social media. Now, when you go to the social media pages of some programs, you will find some information such as, okay, our current students are currently doing this, they are currently doing that. You have an idea of what they are doing. And some of those things you will never find it on the program website. I'm saying this because I'm in charge of the social media page of my program. And the website is just there. What you see on the website is usually the official things. But on the Facebook page, on the Instagram page, you see what the students are doing. You see what some of the professors are doing. They share some of these things. For example, you know the project they are working on. So it helps you to be able to like you can like kind of add these things to your content ideas. And this also helps you to know what some of the professors are doing, like I said earlier. Also, you should also go to find the profiles of the professors in the program. Where can you find this? You can find this on the website. Sometimes you can find it on the social media pages too. Go online, search for them. Like you can go on their LinkedIn. Most of them have LinkedIn profile. Check what they are doing. Look at the kind of project they are doing. And so when you can just like, I'm just giving this as a tip. You can just mention one of them in your motivation letter. That I am interested in so and so. You might not even mention their name. But when you mention the project they are working on, for example, you just kind of do it in a way that it won't look as if you went to lift what they are doing, like, like word for word. But you can just say something related to that project or related to what they are doing. Believe me, this kind of thing makes them develop interest in you. Also, another thing you also need to echo in your motivation letter, some people have asked me this, try to talk about the things you have not even achieved. This might sound kind of vague in a way, but sometimes, for instance, I remember in my motivation letter, I talked about undertaking a program that I've not even started. I just told them I'm like, I'm committed to learning this because I know it is important in the program, and I don't want to lie about it. I don't want to say that I have achieved it or have taken the course, but I said I am going to. That in fact I've already committed my time to it. That it's an online class that I'm going to come. So sometimes you can also state this in your motivation letter, especially when you know that thing is important. Also, you need to know the set skills that is important for that program and show it in your motivation letter. Either you are proficient in it or you are trying to work on it. There's no crime telling them that. Another thing I also remember now is, like I used to say, talk about yourself as much as you can. Don't You have to state your achievements, and this achievement part is something I want us to always do, like especially your second paragraph. The first paragraph, you can tell a story. I'm going to give us an example tonight, and I will try to like show you to see whether there are similarities in what I'm going to talk about. The first part, make sure it is interesting. I'm going to read two motivation letters to us, and I wish it's on my laptop, but I will try to see if I can send it to my laptop so that I can read, because since I'm using my phone for the filming, so it's not going to be easy for me to read on the phone and at the same time. Um, so aside from that, you should also talk about your future plans. Someone asked last week if it is nice. In fact, I always recommend that you end your motivation letter that way. Talk about what you think the program will give to you, the benefit you get from the program. So without wasting much time, let me just take a sample of a motivation letter, which I'm going to read to us. It's my motivation letter, and those two motivation letter got me an Erasmus scholarship for ECT Plus and also for MEHA program. So, and it means that it is a good template to use for everyone. And I'm not reading it so that you can't even use what I've written like word for word, even if you're applying for my program, because like I said last week that it is a serious offense for you to plagiarize. It's a serious offense for you to use someone else's content, because they have a checker that checks this thing. And believe me, it's an automatic disqualification for you. So you wouldn't want to do that. So it's just to give you an idea of what a good motivation letter is. I'm not saying the motivation letter is the best. I'm not saying it is it is a template for it is a general template for all motivation letters. Because for example, if you are in a field that is different from mine, you might use a different approach, but at least it gives you an idea of what you should consider or put into consideration when you are um, um, trying to write or writing a motivation letter. So please just bear with me for a few seconds while I try to bring this on. Okay, thank you. I'm back. Yeah, so we can continue now. Sorry for the short break in transmission. I'm sorry about the I'm sorry about the delay. Yeah, so I'm back. So I'm going to use the two motivation letters, and I'm going to try to explain how what I did, like how was I able to source my information and all of those things. So just try to bear with me if the quality of the video is compromised, because I'm also having a screen in front of me trying to see that everything is fine. And if you feel there is any cause for concern, maybe if you can't hear me or something, just always put it in the comments. I'm looking through the comments so that I can have sometimes it can be challenging to have a live section. Sorry. So I don't know why the quality of the video is so poor. Okay, so I think we just have to settle for something else, because it's not giving me what I want. Okay. All right, thank you. Thank you for your patience. So we can go ahead now by looking into this. Okay, now this motivational statement, I'm going to read it to us, and we are going to like you can also drop your comments or your questions in the comment section. So please, so I'm going to read one of the first paragraph. This is the first motivation letter I will be discussing with us. So now this is it. I wrote this for the marine environment, marine resources um, program. It is the MARE program, Marine Environmental Resources. That's the name of the program. So I wrote this motivation letter for that. So now you can follow me as I read through the first paragraph. I don't know if I can just make, but okay, let me see if I can make a video of this so it's easy for you to follow through. I don't know if this makes any sense or I should just read it. I think, I don't know, it would have been easier for me to project, but using YouTube is like a problem. That's just the thing. But don't worry, let me just make it. I'm going to read it because that's the most important thing. So you can just follow me as I read through. So the first paragraph goes thus. I hail from Nigeria, the most populous and the biggest producer of crude oil in Africa, bounded in the south by the Gulf of Guinea of the Atlantic Ocean, with a coastline of 853 kilometers. Notably, 25% of Nigerian population is found in the coastal states where industrial activities are most prominent, with crude oil production and conventional agriculture leading the way. These activities have negatively impacted the marine ecosystem and its resources through the devastating effect of oil spill pollution and eutrophication, which consequently affects human health and inflicts economic losses. Earlier this year, Nigerian Marine Administration and Safety Agency (NIMASA) stated that Nigeria lost 25 billion annually to illegal maritime activities and pollution, a significant threat to the benefit derived from the marine ecosystem services. Currently, Nigeria ranks 169 among the 221 exclusive economic zones in the Ocean Health Index evaluation, with an overall score of 61, which suggests that more needs to be done to improve the health of our marine ecosystem. In response to this distress, I'm looking forward to becoming a decisive stakeholder with a vast scientific knowledge of marine and coastal ecosystem assessment for management purposes. That is my paragraph 1. I don't know what your opinion is about this paragraph 1, but that is the paragraph 1, and sorry, live message. I would say it is interesting, even to me reading it. To me, who is the author, it looks interesting to me. You understand? And this is how our motivation letter should be like. Even you, when you read your motivation letter, you should ask yourself, does this look, or does it sound interesting to me? Or how will someone who will evaluate it, how will the person, perceive it? So these are some of the things we need to know. So you might be wondering that, oh, how did I get to do this? How do I know this? How did I find this information? Of course, this information are online. Now the structure is this. I decided to look out for a problem facing the marine ecosystem in my country. Google is your friend. You can even go and read news. Check current news about that problem that you are looking forward to solve. It could be internationally, it could be locally, it could even be national. It could be specific to your country. You can take a particular location as your case study. Talk about it. Talk about the problem. You must talk about the problem, and you must also talk about the effects of the problem. What has the problem caused economically, in terms of the ecosystem, I wish I can also talk much like this, you know, regarding those in the engineering field and all of that, but at least I'm just doing this to help us develop ideas. Not everyone will apply for my program, not everyone will talk about environmental, but for you to be in your field, you should be able to, identify a problem. Because most of these people, they want people who are motivated by something. That is why they call it motivation letter. They want to know what's motivating you. And if you are not motivated by something, if you are not looking forward to solving a problem, then the motivation will not be there. So, like for example, talking about some of these things I mentioned in the first paragraph, talking about the money Nigeria loses every year due to mismanagement of the marine ecosystem. I found all these things online because I had to do my search. Also, while I was looking through my program, I noticed that, okay, no, sorry, not my program. While I was also searching online about ecosystem and all of that, I noticed that there is a particular index that they use to evaluate the health or the quality of the marine ecosystem of a particular territory. So I read about this OHI evaluation system, and I saw the list of different countries, and I found where my country is. That my country ranks a particular, they have a score of 61 and they rank 169 out of 221. So I formed a story around this, which helped me to be able to like put up a very good first paragraph. So your first paragraph gives you so much confidence. When you have a very good paragraph, an appealing one, it is that flow that you take into your second paragraph. So you can see my first paragraph now. It is more like I already stated the problem that is that I've perceived within my country, and I also state what I'm looking forward to doing, because it's not just about identifying a problem. They want to know what you plan to do as an individual, an inexperienced individual. Why are you motivated to pursue that program? Does that program look like a program that will give you the much needed knowledge to solve those problems? So that's that about the first paragraph. If you have any question, you can interrupt me anyways. You can ask your question along the line, but let me now go to my second paragraph. Okay, let me read the second motivational statement, and you will see if it's kind of different from the first one in a way. Sorry. Okay, now I'm going to read the second motivation letter. This one is for the second program I applied for. Now, the system of this one is different from the first one. This one is for the environmental contamination and toxicology program. They are related. It is the same host institution that is responsible for the both programs. But that does not mean that I will now use the same motivation letter. I've always talked about this. Never use the same motivation letter for two programs, even if they are similar. Please take note of this. So let me read the first paragraph of this one. This one is just a one-page motivation letter, while the previous one I read was actually 2 pages. Now, this one, I'm going to read the first paragraph. My parents indoctrinated me into believing that taking care of my environment will make the doctor stay away, which means that I need to be generous to my environment to stay healthy. This belief system prompted me to develop a conscious and intentional sense of responsibility towards taking care of my immediate environment, even as a young teen. Going forward, I chose to opt for bachelor's degree in environmental management and toxicology at the Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, where I finished in the top 5% of the class with an overall grade point of 89.6%. Advancing into my 5 years of undergraduate study, I was introduced into the fundamentals of the method in environmental analysis and monitoring system, environmental pollution mitigation strategies, waste management plans, and biodiversity conservation. Just a break there. Now, all these things I mentioned, they are not the exact courses I took during my undergraduate. I found these things in the objectives of the program. Like these are some of the areas that one of the partner institutions, these are one of the areas that they are really, really like, I don't know if you understand. So I was able to pick my clue from there. It's not as if these things are not, it's not like they are lies or they are not true. But I am trying to say that the courses I've taken they don't have this exact name. Though I took some courses on waste management. You understand that what we did some waste management, but the name of it, the course itself, is not waste management plan. But I got this idea from somewhere, so I was able to incorporate it into my SOP. You understand? And you see that the first three lines, I thought it was I said it was a story, but it's a very short story. A story that is just talking about me growing up, my parents telling me that if I take care of my environment, it means I'll be healthy. The doctor will stay away. So since then, I've been conscious towards taking care of my environment, even as a young teen. Then this now encouraged me to pursue a bachelor's degree in environmental management. You can see the link between my first thoughts and my second thoughts, even within the same paragraph. So while you are trying to build your ideas, make sure that it is going in a kind of sequence. There's a flow, even within your paragraph. Don't forget that your first paragraph is talking about something. Maybe the motivation, why are you doing it? Your second paragraph will be talking about something else. Maybe what you stand to gain or what you stand to give or what you have acquired. Like in this case now, you can see that my first paragraph, I'm beginning to talk about my achievements already. So I'm still on the first paragraph. Let me continue. So I said, in addition, I was able to gather practical experience in the primary application of remote sensing in environmental resource exploration and pollution monitoring. Also, I have demonstrated competency in practical laboratory sections, which is evidence in my research inputs towards a published academic environmental journal. You can see that. I did not go deep into stating the name of the journal because it's already in my CV. So I just stopped there. And I also went for that. I said, as a college chemistry teacher and also as a quality and assurance analyst. Full stop. I went further again within the first paragraph. My insatiable hunger for advanced knowledge in environmental related topics made me undertake numerous paid online certificate courses. I am currently undertaking a weekly video tutorial on the basics of using R to analyze environmental data. Altogether, my 10 years of academic and work experience have driven my enthusiasm and interest in advanced and applied environmental pollution studies, focusing on pollution pathway investigation, mitigation measures, and sustainable control to protect the ecosystem. Advanced and applied environmental pollution study, I found that somewhere in the program website. I'm just trying to demystify all of these things for you so that you will know that sometimes you need to do this research to get some ideas. You put all of these ideas together. That is what forms a good motivation letter. It is pieces, when you have pieces all over the place, you have the pieces from here, pieces from here, pieces from here. So it is now your responsibility to know how to put those pieces together. You will refine them. Don't think I wrote this thing once. There are times that I will write, I will review it again, that no, this one is supposed to come before this one. No, let me link it like this. Let me link it like this before it becomes something that even when you are reading it is making sense. I said it maybe last week or 2 weeks ago that I can't count how many times that I would erase a whole paragraph of motivation letter. A whole paragraph. Something that might take me hours to write, I will clear it. It is normal. When you find yourself at that point, don't feel that you are wasting your time. It is very, very normal. So I am going to go back to the previous one, the one I was reading before. So that's that about first paragraph. So you can see that there's no general way to writing your motivation letter. You can decide that, okay, you want to talk about your achievement in the first paragraph. Look at the way I was able to talk about my achievements in the first paragraph. And this was because I wanted to make that second motivation letter 3 paragraphs, 1 page. So I need to talk very brief. But the second one, I knew that I had the privilege of writing more than one page. So that was why I took the first paragraph to just talk about a problem. So depending on the number of word counts or the instruction that is given to you, if they want something very brief, don't tell too much stories. Because by the time you start telling too much story, giving different statistics, you might not have enough space to project yourself, to talk about your achievement, what you stand to gain from the program, and what you are looking forward to doing in the future with the knowledge you acquire. So you have to plan very well. Now, I'm going back to the first statement of purpose again, the one of 2 pages. So I've talked about it. So in the second paragraph of this one, that was where I was now talking about me. I said I obtained my bachelor's degree in environmental management and toxicology from so university. I finished in the top 5% of the class with an overall grade point of 4.48 out of a possible 5.0. At the early stages of my study, I took several courses in chemical and biological science, and advancing further, I was introduced to the fundamental method of this, and this. Now you see that it is similar to what I wrote in the first paragraph of the one I just finished reading. So you must understand the scope of the program. Now in this one I said I took several courses in chemical and biological sciences. I did not use that term in the previous one just because each of the program have their point of emphasis. You have to project, you have to put there are terms they want to see in your statement of purpose. There are particular terminologies that they want to see. And when they begin to see them they will be like, this person is ready for this program. And this is the essence of you doing research. Go through their program website, look at some certain terminologies that you see them using. It's not like you just come to your motivation letter and use them, like anyhow, but at least they must fit in into what you are talking about. You understand? So that is just the thing. So in this one I talked about, in addition to this, I was able to gather practical experience. So it's more like talking about what I know. I already have a projection of what they want to see. So I was kind of feeding them with the kind of things I know they want to see. And these things are not lies. It is based on the fact that, okay, for example, I wrote something in the second paragraph here. I said my interest in advanced knowledge of environmental resource exploration, my interest in advanced knowledge of marine environments made me undertake paid online certification courses in oceanography, large marine ecosystem, planetology, and more. Now, normally, you're not supposed to mention the courses you did for the online courses that I advise us to do. But I deliberately included them in this SOP just for the emphasis. I did a lot of online courses that are in my CV, but I decided to isolate the ones that I know that they are very, very, very pertinent to this particular program I'm applying for. So I want them to see it in case maybe they don't pay attention to it in the CV, since I have other courses I took that are not like 100% related to the course, but I decided to highlight it in the SOP. Now in the second one, I might not highlight it just because I have a very short, it was just 1 page. So these are some of the things you have to echo. So I now went further. I now said, altogether, my 10 years of academic experience have driven my blah, 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 focusing on. So it is similar to what I wrote in the first paragraph of the second motivation letter. So now this is more like me. Everything I have in my first and second paragraph for this particular one was what I merged together to make one paragraph in the other one. So that's to tell you that there is no particular pattern. It is you who will determine or decide what you want to do based on the instruction that is given to you. You have to bring in your creativity. The essence of me making this video is just to stir us up, to make us know that yes, I can do this, to give you ideas. Sometimes someone will tell you something and you'll be like, I never thought about it. I never even, like, my mind no even go there. You see people saying, my mind no go there. You understand? So that's what I'm trying to like make us see, like take our mind to some of those things that okay, this you can actually do it like this. So let me go to the second paragraph of the one page motivation letter. So I went on the second paragraph of that one. I said, I seek to build on my professional skills and competence in environmental pollution monitoring from an international standpoint by acquiring scientific and technical knowledge that will help me understand the interaction between chemical pollution, the contamination of living organisms, and ecosystem disturbance. You see this line? You see this line? I got it from the objectives of one of the partner partner institution. All these things I'm saying, believe me, they are secrets that no one will tell you. Believe me, because people think that I shouldn't share this kind of thing, But I am doing this because I I really wish, or sometimes I hope when I see people who try a lot, I want people to get or to know what I know that made me get what I get. That is why I'm doing this. I'm not doing this because I want to, get any benefit. I want to make money from it. It is just a service to humanity. And so that's why I'm doing it with all my heart. These things are things that I got to, discover myself, when you have time. But most of us, I know we don't have that time, to sit down and start thinking and all of these things. So that is why I'm like trying to like bring us this information so that we can apply them and, get the desired results. So I will continue with so going further. I now went forward. I said, I firmly believe that participating in the program will help me achieve this objective. I now said my personal interest in the program can be attributed to its commitment towards addressing One Health concepts and paradigm. I believe this will equip me with the scientific basis for understanding the global environment under the framework of the One Health principle in the quest to solve environmental problems derived from chemical pollution and related ecological stress at a regional scale. So, I have said during the course of the program, I look forward to immensely benefiting from the course in Advanced and Applied ECT that focuses on that focuses on advanced analytical chemistry and translational ecotoxicology. And I'm keen on the professional practice scheme. Imagine a program that I've not even started. I already know about the professional scheme that they used to do, the professional practice scheme. This is based on research. This is based on me going through the course outline, looking at what are the courses about. So I mentioned the professional practice and I said it will enhance my transversal skill and job competency, as well as helping me explore into newer research possibilities. Now, if you are a panelist and you see this, will you not be convinced that no, this person deserves to be given a chance? No, let's just look at it from that angle. So that's just it. So, and I finished it with the third paragraph. Let me just finish this second motivation letter. I finished it with the last paragraph by saying, upon completing the ECT program, I envision working with the National Environmental Standard and Regulation Enforcement Agency or other related national and international stakeholders that focus their work on evaluating environmental quality and health. I strongly believe that the technical and scientific skills, knowledge, expertise acquired during this program will enable me to make a positive impact towards addressing issues arising from environmental pollution. Ultimately, I would like to pursue a doctorate in ecotoxicology and environmental safety or a closely related field. Now, I completed it. I said, going by my 5 years of undergraduate academic experience in an environmental science background with an intensive theoretical and practical exposure to environmental pollution study, as well as a holistic study of the environment, and considering my professional experience in environmental services and research through field and laboratory exposure, I firmly believe that I will be able to shoulder the academic demands of this program. Therefore, I am convinced that I am suitably matched for this program. And that was the end of the motivation letter. So you can see that in my second paragraph, I talked about what I'm looking forward to gain. In the first paragraph, I talked about myself, I talked about my achievements, I talked about some of the things I'm doing. In the second paragraph, I talked about the things the program will offer me based on the objective of the program. Because how will you know what the program will offer you if you don't know the objective of the program? Then the last one, I talked about my future plans, that when I complete this program, the knowledge I gain, I believe it will help me to do this, to work in so place, to do this, to solve this, to solve that. And I finished it by saying, with all the experience I've gathered, both in the academic field and the professional field, I believe that I'll be able to shoulder the academic demands of the program. And therefore, you see that it's an authoritative statement actually. You are telling them that with all of this, that having said all of this, I believe, I am convinced that I am suitably matched for this program. And I added a full stop, and that was it. Just one page. 3 paragraphs. It was the second one, the first one I was reading before that I went on, like I had about maybe roughly, how many paragraphs? 1, 2, 3, 4. I had roughly 4 paragraphs, and it's encroached into the second page. In that one, let me take the third paragraph of the one I was reading before. You know, in the first one, I talked about some statistical facts, talking about the marine environment in Nigeria, the money that we lose annually due to mismanagement, you know, crude oil exploration and all of that. Then in the second paragraph, I talked about my previous studies, my bachelor's, the courses I did, and all of those things. So after talking about that, I now went to the third paragraph, where I now told them why. Now, in the third paragraph, I talked about a lot of things. It was actually like, I said I chose the program with the view to acquire advanced training and research experience in marine observation and exploration techniques, laboratory analysis, and mathematical modeling from the world's leading university in the field of marine environment, and an opportunity to train alongside world-class scientists through an integrated multidisciplinary perspective of marine environmental problem within the European context. This was also coined from one of the partner institution of the university, like one of their objectives. It's not like you will just copy and paste their objectives. They would know. Because they subject all of these things to plagiarism check. They would know. But you can just pick a line or 2 lines there and refine it to suit what you want. And it will still have a touch of. As I'm reading this now, I can remember where I picked it from. That was why I said it's a line from somewhere. But it is not exactly how it was written. You know, I had to put it in a statement form. Just as if you picked bone from some places. You now brought them in and you fleshed them up. That is the exact thing I did. So I talked about that, and I also mentioned some interesting things. I said also I am keen on benefiting maximally from the immense commitment of the MER program to the integration of science-based knowledge on the marine environment into the decision-making process towards responding to the societal need identified as critical challenges in the UN Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development 2021 to 2030. How would I have known that if I did not do research? You know, it's very important to do all this research. You will find all this information if you dig deep. And it's now up to you to know what you do with the information you see, because you see a lot. So you now start looking at, where will this information be useful? Where will it be useful? Where will it be useful? I went further. I said, in addition, I'm excited about the prospects of the free trip to Stareso, where I can develop skills in technical problem solving and decision making through team synergy. And I said I have adequately assessed the program's course module, and I'm delighted at the quality of education that I am set to acquire. You can see that kind of statement. I told them I've gone through the program course module, and with all I've seen, I'm already excited about the quality of education I'm about to acquire. Then after saying that, I now went to the second to the last paragraph where I now talked about when I complete my program, I'm looking forward to working with companies that are involving this and that. And, I talked about that just like the previous one. And I completed it with the last paragraph, which I said, going by my 5 years of undergraduate, the same line that I used in the previous one. I'm convinced that I'm suitably matched for this program. And that was it. So if what I've done is not like impressive to the panelists, maybe I would have gotten one, I wouldn't have gotten the other one, but I got the two programs I applied for. And one thing that can change your application a lot, let me tell you the truth, is your motivation letter. You can have, what are they calling? You can have your results, the results you graduated with is the same. It will not change. You cannot influence your transcript. You understand? You cannot influence a lot of things in your application. But one thing that you can really influence a lot is your motivation letter. So I will advise us to influence it as much as we can. For example, if you have a first class and I have a 2-1, you can get, let's say, 30 points from your first class that you have. And let's say I get 25 for my own second class lower. Now, in your motivation letter as a first class, if you can get 10 points and I will get 30 points. And with that, I'm going to stand a better chance than you. So you cannot change a lot of things in your application. For example, your CV, for instance, you can change a lot of things in your CV, but it's to an extent. You understand? It's to an extent. But your motivation letter can change a lot of things. So please let us always try to put in our best with motivation letter. As much as I can, I will still try to see if I can invite 1 or 2 people next week to speak with us, share their experience. Some of them might still repeat some of the things I've said. Some might say something new that probably I have not captured. But I believe that this is one of the most important discussion as far as these applications are concerned. So for me, I'm done with my presentation. It's nice talking to us, and at the same time, it's really challenging because it's almost 12 years and I have a lot of things to do, but this is just something I'm passionate about. And it's something that will give me so much joy when I see people posting their congratulation letter on the group, just like it happened this year. I used to mention that a lot because it's an achievement and I'm so glad about it. And you could be the next. You could be the next. So thank you for joining. This is time for question. If you have any question, you can just post it now. I'm going to read your questions and I will try to answer them briefly so that I can end the section. Yeah, so that's the end of my presentation. So questions, if you have a question, start typing because I will just leave like a few minutes for that. Once I don't get a question, I would believe that we don't have questions. Yeah, so time for questions. Who is asking us a question? I'll try to be very, very brief with even my responses because I need to sleep. Yeah, I need to sleep. Everyone needs sleep. I'm still waiting for questions. I think I have to look into my computer screen now and see if anyone wants to. Yeah, thank you for your efforts. Yeah, the pleasure is mine. All thanks to God. All thanks to God. All thanks to God. I'm still waiting for questions. I think I'll wait for a few minutes more before I eventually call it a day. I think I'll wait for a few minutes more before I eventually. I think we don't have questions tonight because sometimes when you say a lot, this that people don't have questions because it looks like I've answered all of your questions. I've cleared your doubts. Sometimes that's what it could mean, and sometimes it could mean that maybe you did not understand. Like just like when we're in class, sometimes after some of the lecturers would have bombarded us with lectures, so they will be like, any question. So most times, especially when we are tired and all of that, we won't have questions. So I feel that I just feel that it's either you don't understand, because some of my colleagues we used to jokingly say this, that maybe waiting you understand, you will ask questions. Yeah, sometimes it could be like that, and sometimes it will be that you understood so much that. But I feel that if you understand so much, there's no how you will not have questions, because most of these white people, these white professors, they like it when students engage in. If you really understand, there's no how. You might even just give a comment. That's why sometimes it'll be like any question, any comment, because sometimes it might not be like question, it might just be like a comment. Maybe you have an idea, maybe while listening, you're just like, oh, like I think, they really love things like this. So it's really very nice. So yeah, someone said no question from my end, but I was able to write a lot down. Oh, thank you. Oh, nice, nice, nice. I thought he was saying that he's trying to write like a lot of questions. Yeah, so that's nice. That's nice. Okay, so thank you all for being here. Just like I've been waiting, I'm just waiting. I'll wait for like a minute more. If no question drops, then it's going to be a good night from me. So sorry if the quality of my video is not looking, I don't know, but what I'm seeing in front of me here is so clear and clean. But I don't know what I'm seeing on my own screen is not. I mean, on my computer screen is not. It's not the same way what I'm seeing here. So just pardon me if it's not as beautiful as it's supposed to be. And tonight's engagement is really, we don't have like a lot of people here, but the number of people who started with us, like everyone remained all through, and I'm really, really impressed with that. Seriously, I'm really, really impressed. It means that what I'm saying is really making so much sense to us, because the retention time is so encouraging. Even though I expected more people to join live, but it doesn't really matter because you can always come back to watch it later. But being online shows more commitment, and it gives you the opportunity to ask questions in real time. So yeah. So I appreciate everyone here, those that drop their comments. Timmy Toba, always active. Shidima John, yeah, nice having you here. Kunle Igi, is actually my in-law. Temitoba, yeah, Temitoba again, okay, yeah, I've mentioned that before. So yeah, so it's nice having you all here, and the pleasure is mine, and thank you very much. I really appreciate. Oh, a question just dropped now. Oduro Ebenezer is also very active, so I'm going to respond to his question because of how you know. Please, my motivation letter demands 5,000 character, and I want to find out whether they are talking about characters with space or without space. I think I mentioned this last week. Anytime they are talking of characters, please make sure it is be on the safe part. Don't assume is maybe with space, or sorry, without space. Just take it as if it's space. Some will tell you that it's with space, some will tell you, some will not mention it, but just play safe. You understand? Play safe, because if you go and assume that it is with the this thing is with space, you understand, like the character count is with space, with that you would be on the safer side. But if you think it's without space and it now comes to be with space, it will affect you. So you cannot be wrong if you treat it that it is with space. I don't know if what I'm saying is making sense, or maybe I'm maybe saying it in the wrong way. But what I'm trying to say is that you have to be on the safer side. Now, if you had space, because whenever you do your word count, it will give you the analysis in word, that character without space, and one will give you with the one with space. You understand? So normally, if you notice very well, you will notice that, for example, if let me use this as an example, I wrote something here now. Now, if I go to do the analysis now it is 51 words, but in terms of character, it is 260, 262. That's without space. But with spaces, it is 311. So what I would advise anyone to do is go for the one that gives you the lower one. You understand? For example, if they tell you that character is, let's say they say 270 is the maximum, or they say, okay, let's assume they say 300. Now in my own case now, if I say 262, if I pick the one with 262, I will be on the safe side. But if I pick the one with 311, which is with space, that means I would not follow their instruction. So it's better for you to go for the one with no spaces. I think you understand my point. So yeah, that is it. So is there any other person with a question? Oh, he said he understands. Okay, good, good. So I think this is the only question we have for tonight. Please just stay tuned on the group. If there will be other sections we are going to have, I would let us know. Thank you very much. It's a minute to 12. It's a new day, and promises to be a good day. I wish every one of us well, and also always remember that there is nothing we can do without God. All of our pursuits and everything, we need that God factor, to multiply our efforts, because by our strength we cannot do anything, but we need God to help us to get the desired result. So always put God into consideration whenever you are doing anything. Pray and you will get the desired outcome. Thank you very much for staying tuned. I really appreciate us. From me to you, it's a good night. Bye bye.